That in the rude institution. Other Dilia Yanga de level de Angabisha Chons and Samalolia and then the Tomara 70 down and harnessing Azuki. While Samalolia Azu de Ubezi. 자가래 다는 신기 대표 상원로량에 더 말씀 주시오야.
I am delighted to be able to return to the Root Institute this afternoon, and so I'd like to give my warmest greetings to everyone here. I'd like to offer my warm greetings to all of the Indians and everyone else who is here.
This is fourth time or fifth time? Come here? At least 7. Really? We don't know. We forgot. It's many times, maybe more than 50. I can't think of. Okay, doesn't matter. Dilia, Kashre, the Kazan Dambo. 你们还是你们你讲的用还是地图用托马松，地图上地所有的鸟都是吃的下，这地所用托马松，这个公共是谁
I was originally scheduled to come a couple days ago, but I wasn't feeling so well, and so I wasn't able to come. So I'd like to beg your pardon for that.
大的呢，这里的用些。 초지네 엔다 간다르지 데 도시텔이야 용보다 냠도 데지 용 용은 당마게지 그뒤에 용되게 예배인사 안들이지 용바래 아니 미세당 아래야 슈아스케민도 가상당부디 도시제배 나는네 아니 쇼로가지 마지 예 시라지들 송도 카메라 리서치 봐 카메라 리 마메다 디 다디 미다베 거를 지제도 와 다들 인도스탄에 디골 마지 셰러지스도 다 임비네 다디 마랑게 디 아버지들은 디셰다 망고시 가야요서래 배드인지 안에 배를 된다를 자르제 디셰시 가야요서래 임비네 다디 예 저렇게 자스케 조마소 이내야 다들이 되지 대단 제여를 제제는 미다고 걸이야 도들이 지슈빈 지금도 섬 아들이 붙인게
So normally when I come to Bodh Gaya, I do come here, and so it's like every year I've been coming, so of course this year I have to come as well. Now, I haven't really got anything in particular to say today. I was asked to speak about the verse from the Diamond Cutter Sutra, or the VajraDiamond Sutra, which goes like stars are seeing spots or candles, and so forth. Now this verse primarily speaks about impermanence, and I haven't really had time to prepare anything about it. There's a lot to explain in this. Of course, you can you can explain the analogies and the meaning of the analogies, but I have not really prepared anything. However, I thought I could speak. These are primarily about impermanence, and so I thought I could speak a bit about the topic of impermanence that it is related to.
Midabadi Godi, Mashingumana, the sheer science of the day. Indeed, dinner the sheer young Chengdu, Midabe God. Ta Midabe Godelia, Mashikan Mangusiki, Midabe Gode. The sheer Kunu Gire. And Dana Midabe needs you around Nimatawar is torn there with the needs you did. Shazang Azugi Tongshin, 2 David needs you. Younger the she Jaguars came, Miss Mave Sochre. That Yimbinea, that Tonto Chumbazum Shigma, but Gulpa Jan and Yamlin Chana, Mado Begi Energy, Kaza 2 Devadan, one ton Devazum Shigeta, Koshuyama, that the Tonto gave Yamlin of Jarche, and Gula Jarche and Yamlin Chagua, the case of Misre.
Now, I think I've spoken about impermanence here before, and also many of you already know about impermanence. Actually, the impermanence is a situation we can see every day. And so, on the one aspect, it's maybe not necessary to talk more about something that we see and that we hear about all the time. But from another aspect, merely seeing impermanence and hearing about impermanence is not the same as practicing it and incorporating it into our beings. And actually, just seeing and hearing about impermanence isn't really enough. We need to really incorporate it into our beings. And so, for that reason, it's extremely important for us to really join the practice of impermanence with our beings.
That Amudelia, that Midabas in Rusane, and Aranzugi, Lodo number she Golia, that Tambudi, Tenjunia Yon de Ore. That Tenjunia Yon de Rusane, and Susugi, that other Tobegi, Ludin Diligence, that Turn Chamberges summer with that Jiba Chawalabji, Duado summer of Jig, that Nishi and Andrado. Tiniji 다 간다지 가서에 고아를 신예. 대 고아를 예 대대be 자활랍제인데 거두주고 그래. 아니 선인은이 좀나 저거라와 야나 지게리야 자화 충사도 주체. 아니 자활랍제인데 슈고 주비인 사람들이 좀 쓰기로 봐. 따이면 디제시아비네. 야야 말스 가래서나 미다바. 마란주기 류인디 미다바 지비 취제. 딱 끼지기 인증주고야 그래. 근데 가두 시온 데데메비 인두산에 대저비다 자활랍진이 두주여비미나 대 다다니도 고소제 주과제랑 다다니 태만이도 되네 지 가서 봐 제거하지 차디가 마더베디 친경 제비나 만지버지 차디가 그래서
So impermanence is one of the 4 thoughts that turn the mind. And the first of the 4 thoughts that turn the mind is the precious human body with its leisures and resources. So we have all achieved a precious human bodily support with which we can do a great purpose. We have great things we can accomplish with this body. And so meditating upon this, we achieve certainty that we have this great purpose that we need to fulfill. But when is it that we need to do this purpose? You might think that if we do it in a few days or a little bit later, that it might be okay. But on the other hand, if we're going to do something great, if we put it off for a few days, it's not certain that we will actually be able to do it. The reason for this is death and impermanence. Our body is an impermanent. It is perishing in every single instant. It's a second. It is a phenomenon that arises and perishes in every single second. And so there is no certainty at all when we are going to die. And therefore, if we have some great task that we must fulfill, then that great task is something that we need to do right now. It is something we need to embark upon immediately. Otherwise, it is uncertain that we will be able to finish it, and it is not okay to procrastinate.
Today in Hindustan, energy chua midabasa di tunda khashi chua midaba komasa. Tunda chik di midaba chua midaba jir midaba labar do chua midaba komya di chi su chiwe jigni. Chua la shana nga chigre samaro de ji shana chi de ya. De ji chua midaba komba sige amane. 치외 지금 치와라 셰데야 자데야 버지 든로디솔에 윤도 가버래 유스그래 치와 지데버디 핑거만 가서 사람 망보질 치외 지고야 그래 이미네 갑들이 치와입니다 보고 봤어도 사나 나도 공도 쉬버는 신기 나란수 여기 류딘 디톨이야 된다 랍신지 주변에 인사 대 먼저 보라 시소나 안 방보시다래 내주사 개바 개고베 내를 차리야래 인도산에 때 다다니도 지금 고수지 주변입니다. 안에 베너지 때 고수 도변입니다. 에너지 가르에 다들 거뒤에 소소래야 뒤수리 나라야 배 배는 dinder지나 남규네 결혼을 들으면 추수 찍마도 대학이 체매입니다. 추수 찍디나나 오늘은 소소기 전도 현다는 유배 busy 시비체야 돼서 봐 육체 삼상아도 busy 시비체에 망고 제제제제 오늘은 수수 죽고야 가리임바디 삼로 흘려 따는 오늘은 수수 제거야 돼 좀돼 봐 가리임바디 아주 싫어라 하고 오면 돼 되면 이미지 수술이야 배나 수수 찍마도 뒤지면 뒤나 오늘은 수수 챈대 봐 가르래도 수수께 TV입니다. 아니 봐지 정거로 와다 지금 늦지 시간이 있어 말이지. 와다 된다 버치죠. 소소리야베 가서를 봐디 디 가서를 되지 다 뉴지스나 조금도 다 다다다 다 내금 늦지 가서다 그건 늦지 해야 되나 다다다 시그 말에 삼성으로 보지 시다 시그래도 다다 시그 말에 삼성으로 보지 근데 지금 3년 안에 다고 기루 염려가 알바 미즈 세상입니다. 이게 뭐게 하듯이 자디 아래 드린 주산다디 전신 당보디 제삼당도
Now, when we think about impermanence, death and impermanence, there are several different things that we can think about. Now, the first of these is when we think about impermanence in general, then often we think that contemplating death and impermanence is in order to, we contemplate it in order to develop fear of death, the thought that I'm going to die. And so many people think that that is what we meditate upon impermanence for, but that's not really it. The fear of death is something that everyone has. We all fear death. Even animals probably fear death. So just merely being afraid of death itself is not alone. Everyone already is afraid of death. So here when we talk about death and impermanence, what we need to think about is what I just mentioned. With this bodily support, we have a great task that we need to accomplish. And if we do not accomplish this task, or if we die before we accomplish this task, then we will regret it. If we are going to accomplish it, we need to do it right now. We need to accomplish that great task immediately. Normally, if you were to think to yourself, if someone were to say to you, you only have 1 hour left, And if you have only 1 hour left in your life, what are you going to do in that 1 hour? Usually you'd give up all of the busyness and distractions that we normally have. We spend most of our time in a lot of busyness and distractions doing all this various busy work, and yet we sort of are relaxed in our attitude about the things that are really most important to do. We aren't really aware of what it is that we actually need to accomplish. And so, if you think to yourself, I've only got an hour left, you aren't going to be like that. You're going to immediately remember exactly what it is that is most important to do. And so it's similar to that. Now, we all are aware that we're going to die, but we usually think, I'm not going to die yet. I got a little bit of time. Yet, if we just spend all of our time thinking like in that manner, then we're going to get lazy. Then we'll spend all of our lives being lazy and slothful about it, and then in the end we will regret it. So this is the first topic of impermanence.
More aware of somebody socially more aware of chiada, and then socially more cherish. Give more cherish some social part day, value some of that part day, and that di nalolia, and tender in tangency to switching nalolia, and a social monet hanegi, carre dati, Mizin di nalolia, Madrumna, Gabakia Robchita, Drumna, Danaji, Gawagom Chobaro, the day Chow Carduado. This some liquid dance, and the digital tone, and Kandal Diba, G. Casue, Susu Drum de Chawalapsi, Sanandado, Tunin de Chawadepa, Jugalia, Zundrugia. That is Chua Midabo Gongwe, Jugudian of Nimbudi, Paje, Teens or some Tangu.
So we need to be more aware of the time. We need to be aware of the time and the opportunity that we have. Likewise, we also need to cherish it more. We need to give it more value and appreciate it and value it more highly. So we have a great task that we need to do within a certain period of time, and if we are not actually able to accomplish it within this human life, then that is something that we will regret. If we accomplish it, though, we will be happy about that. So this is something we need to consider carefully and think well about. And so for that, in thinking well about this, then we will become more diligent about accomplishing this great task, which is the great benefit for ourselves and for others. And so this is the essence of the purpose for meditating upon impermanence.
고급 강한 정보디 나나를 제하게 내가디 가지고 뷰 타버지당 가지고 가수해지 넘버를 타버지요 마더베 뒤주사디 양가 꼬라게요 말하더니 인두산 디규제된 강체스버드니 체스으로 마더 양가 제하메비 인두산 엔디 지 린단테와르지 니에버가와르지 양가를 니야메비 인두산 엔디 돌이야 우스카르웨 Zundu Gearu Drizesha.
So meditating upon death and impermanence inspires our being. It makes us feel like we need to seize this opportunity. We need to use this opportunity and take the opportunity that we have. And then we also reflect how this is an opportunity that we will not get again. And so we realize that we have to use this opportunity now as we have it to do the best that we can, to perform this great task as best we can and as purely as we can. Because this opportunity we have now is something that will not happen again. And so we need to do now in this lifetime what needs to be done, as we will not be able to do it later. And so when we think about the value of this opportunity that we will not receive again, then this produces more diligence.
다드네 미다베 텐젠이 버더데 가레사나 아네 가르스레다 미다바사디 다 포지티브 토안에 삼당고도 마음지게 처음 미다바사디 네거티브 토안에 삼당해야지 용디가래 포지티브 토안에 삼당고야지 처음 미다바 공백걸이야 디 리베션 삼당고래 다 리베션 삼당은 유사는 처음 미다바에 이 균세는 되네 안가조리 고급 용어 고급 사바 미다바 마이나 고 닝베기 네가 다라나 데데그레 고 사바요스케 하면 요아주요만 요아주요의 인사 대균선 때네 야게 동아요 야게 동아요의 인사 엔 가솔이야지 가솔 자와자와신 거 근데 이 균선 때네 엔다 저 미다바 사디 베나 가솔에 지게 뮤직 디조 지그바레 뮤직 디조 라지 게 디조 nga마 치마치마 게기 지가 민자와 게 민자와 차봄다 토메 민자와 연구하는 요한도도 계신 요한도라면은 뮤직 뮤직 사마르베 VajraDiamond 게 누구 베네 야나 타지 ben shoe but the trouble mother may have them. Yamana bombo mother made them. That in the youngster. Chashing Yambala serving Yuamang was joy in the Teletanian as we and a reja Yambugi darting as a go to yard. And then I sing as Midava Yuan joy in the Teletanian and Azulia Soas Karsreji. The Kandara Nizu Manguji Savas or Armagnon. 소화다 알 마통 나와 알마 나와만 곳이 나도야래 테라데네 아주 가르삼 당 오도사나 엔데바시잖아
Now, the second aspect about impermanence is we can think about impermanence in the positive aspect as well. Normally, when we think about impermanence, we think about it in the negative aspect. We can think about it as being something bad, but we can also think about the good aspects, the positive aspect of impermanence. And so, when we think about impermanence, because everything is impermanent, we have an opportunity, we have a chance. If things were not impermanent, then the old situations would just continue and there'd be no chance and no opportunity to change. But things are impermanent. And because things are impermanent, then we are able to improve. And so we have hope, we have room for hope. And so that is one thing that we need to think about with death and impermanence. It's like music. Music is always changing from moment to moment, and sometimes the melody goes up, sometimes the melody goes down, sometimes it gets louder, sometimes it gets softer. There are all these changes that happen all the time. If there were no changes and it were always the same, then the music would just be a monotone. It would always stay on the high pitch. It would always just stay on the low pitch, and there would be no change. But because it is impermanent, then the pitch can change, and we can have beautiful melodies that can rise, and that can go up, and they can come down. And this allows us to have beautiful melodies. So impermanence is the same. Because there is change, then we have the opportunity to experience things in this lifetime that we've never experienced before. We can see things we've never seen before. We can have appearances that we've never perceived before. And so in this way, there's like this opportunity.
dine inzang azu midaba inzang ane midaba inbale ko ngeshen ru kye yun sa ane azu ngone jine ji garre azu khadu yimine kokab yon kokab de khadu yine yon beranji kacha relation kama relation chuzo relation kokab sa kokab serve on the yare 아주 교와 마다베 교와 동아기 고급 산하라도 차견도 가두이네 대외에 되시래. 안드레인 주사 디균선을 때네 아주 지 가시 지 체되려야 데즈 가죠. 뭐 봐요. 체되라 고대. 체되려야 하는 미 데즈 체드를 다 레스 체드를 가져야지 미지디 대점식이다 간다라 닝부여 버지 개마중 의미네 미지난 즉 체매래 닝부여 차로 야 다나 신기 통산 쉐비면 드린 셔베 디스 논주를 충분히 미냐 안 동원고다 딜이야 논주를 배 여상 제제 안에 가서에 꽤 매버지 요하러 다 된대기 간단 아주리야 지상도 땅과의 개심십 차대도 셰마도베 미망고지기 수수기 지 논주 셰샤보다 나라 논주 셰샤보디 거뒤이네 즉 대다 냠도지 the reputation somarota reputation sora karju susugi di kadu ine de ji yuan razan ra meme sursta 미디 냠도 네 대하 surta de yonde tindeji tawane ya mare yuan ro ya de tene mi yusan de ne debe ni sugi tadan de yaptu고 mare debe ni sugi 가두이는 대베 니술 되는 가서를 드시 잡돼야지. 그 고마고만 미신다 저게 그 고마는 디체르 디체르 제상 키코 미두자래서야지 좀 많이 봐. 그 유아 동조 알아. 나 니주스타네 근데 지주 밀러려 왔다고. 체되려야 미세 디와 첨부 싸우래. 체매려야 한다라 주어터 봐. 기 기부매도 좋아들이 충분해. 니주스타네. 나 되는 신 맞아 임비냐. 소소로 고급 위에가 돼 고급 위에 미바 하고에 도안에 아니 고급도 듬진 전에 교화 동아당 야계 동아 대래야 배수 제거해야 돼 계속 있어요.
And so everything is impermanent. And if we recognize this impermanence, then we always have the opportunity to change. We have the opportunity to change in every second, in every minute, in every hour. So we always we may not change ourselves, but that is even if we do not change ourselves, we still have the opportunity. We still have the possibility of change. And so in the first part of someone's life, that person may not really do much of any import, but that doesn't mean that in the second part of their life they won't do something that has real meaning. Similarly, we can do something in the morning that we can do something bad, we can make a mistake in the morning, and in the evening we can regret it and make amends for it. We can make it so that there's no longer a problem. So there's always this change and the opportunity of the time. It's also like, so we usually don't think of it that way. We usually think that it's like our reputation is something that's always going with us, that it's always accompanying us, and there's nothing we can do to change our reputation, and nothing we can do to change how we are. But it's really not at all like that. We have the opportunity to change at any moment. And so, for that reason, we shouldn't spend too much time explaining the situations of the past. We can always talk all we want, explain the situations of the past all we want. We can say, oh, he did that in the past, so he's this sort of a person. But that's not how we should be. We should recognize that everyone is able to change. It's like Milarepa. Milarepa, in the first part of his life, did terrible things. He killed many people. He accumulated a lot of misdeeds. And yet, in the second part of his life, he practiced hard and achieved the state a great accomplishment. So we likewise have the same opportunity. We need to recognize that we have that opportunity, and we need to take ownership of that opportunity. And then it is important for us to do everything to strive hard to use this opportunity.
ina da dinsan mi mangbuchi gi dinsan ke jmarta ina nga zu namgyu mi ji komshi ru che du sana energy sosulia koga majung ba dang da na sing ge sosulia kashwe ji manji bi ni zu ru chong bi mi na da de de sama mi shin da la blame che mi shin da la ya ba kashwe ji 용저시야 나 dindi지 곰시지 야랑 안 주네 어다 그 콜라 된시 는 아주 톡 아니 콜라 된시 알이야 고급디 총마송 그영에 랑가 가송 그영에 고급 초소 사람 특기지시야 미 상원들 여러 봐 배나 진의 인자 아주 남균에 그뒤에지 아주 남유 어지 pompo sabaji levina shung gegabji le pompo sabaji levina tigi kyojin gyowaji tongare sambarabji andane leadership de chungwin daji kyoji jigre sambarabji kaduine ji chilolya nyora sheda ji da chilol rawa gyabdeaji yondi yore yimbe ne ngazu majebe chegwadi gyowa tongma dangde shizadi kombapo ngozuya sosonin ngozu고 여비지 소수인 교화당 소수에게 에는 소수소수로 고급제 진짜 맞제제 진짜 맞제비나 소수소수로 고급 맞제 소수소수 교화마다미나 녀라 생계는 연구 말아봐다 다 소수소수 녀라 생 다 미신다 지금 소수로 고급 맞는 소수 반 녀라 생 저어봐 이내 소수소수 고급 맞제나 수 녀라 생 녀라 생계는 연구 말아봐 다들 인주산에 데 두저레샤 데비 준센데네 미신달이야 녀르마셰 고는 게 수수수수다 녀르시세네 장도 간다르지 수수수를 고급제 수수수리야 간다르 가서에 교화당 수수수 교화당 과에 개점이 있어서
It's our habit to think to ourselves that we don't have the opportunity or that the situation isn't right, and we blame. The habit is to blame others and say that others are making things difficult for ourselves. And so we say, "Oh, he did this to me. She did that to me. She blocked me. He blocked me." So we're always saying things like this. So usually, like when there's a new government that comes in, there's a new prime minister, and you think, oh, the new prime minister is going to change things and do things. There'll be a new leader who will do things. And so we're always looking for someone outside of ourselves to complain to. We're always looking to someone outside to make the change. But actually, the change has to begin with ourselves. The one we need to complain to is ourselves. We need to give ourselves the opportunity. And so, if we do not give ourselves the opportunity, if we if we don't change ourselves, then no one else is going to do it. And that's really the worst of all. If someone else is going to do something to block you and prevent you from having an opportunity, you've got someone that you can go complain to. But if you prevent yourself from doing something, no one's going to come complaining to you about that. No one's going to come and give you a hard time about that. No one's going to change that for you. And so for that reason, before we blame others and before we complain to others, the first thing we need to do is to complain to ourselves and give the opportunity to ourselves and change ourselves.
다나 신기 엔 가시엘이야 가시에다 용디야래 가시에다 베는데 람로모 유버사라 가셔다 계제 답 되버셔야비나 람로모 유바 녀라 사오시에나 다 가르체나 가르에 가르체네지 배주체다나 신다데존에 가서 고갑이 지 규천부데존에 가디위네지 고갑라 되베서지 소소도 가르체네 배주 간제체네 다 가디위네 가서지 툴든 좋아 마도베 양로투 야메베서 야겐 좋아 자는 메도지 영균 좋아 마도 메데버지 다드네 이르산다 가시 집에 다 운도부지 투네 다 강아 민두스 소소를 강에 충분히 강에 쉬우 충분히다 되게 려동차르도 용디 아래 다 지단기 강에 사대야 다 고급을 진설해 강을 가지지 체이미냐 대주지기 아니 고급 체지 강에 되게 언드레 인두스탄에 강에 되 강에량 문지 맞습체 강에 되 고급질량 문지체 배나 응원게 딱 기부 담보 망고지 담보 강에 슈체지 강에 슈체부터 된세 에네 고랑 가수에 지 현대 민주에다 간다는 유화신 것이 태제 대비섬으로 배다지 어 텔레데는 고라 랍자스는다도 야는 텔레데는 고라 롭소스는다도 칸을 나오다디 텔레데는 랍제 띵사버지 탭네 에네 고 갈 기부터 한번 차대 좀마다 기부터 한번 써야 돼 게운들이 기부터 한번 차대겠지 요 말아봐 기부터 한번 써야 돼 대야 동해기 나는 기부터 한번 되면마다 디 기부 되버체 근데 안에 지 기부터 한번 써야 돼 그래서 가버리면 something도 인주스탄에 다 기부터 한번 이미 써야 돼 소디 동해기 수수강에를 제 동해를 충분히 커돌이야 미 페바르 지민다 동해가 마 가르스웨 쿠르기만 네 라마도 쳐가래 기부 담바데스 동해도 마다 치지 동해의 고급질 때지 디나네 랍잘네 롭솔네 안 디나네 가르 고 가르스웨 강에디 초스케 연주사네 야겐 로토가 드니 인두산다 계속 계속 있어요.
Sometimes when we try to do things just don't work out. Nothing works. We encounter difficulties or problems. Other people's may have chances. Things work out for other people. Things are always working for other people or never for yourself. It's like there are rich people, things always work for the rich people, but for yourself, no matter what you do, there's never getting ahead, nothing's ever working out. And we have this difficulty that comes from that. And so we feel like nothing ever is working out, and we have these incredible difficulties from it. And sometimes we give up. But actually, when we have these difficulties, we need to recognize these difficulties as an opportunity. The greater the difficulty, the greater the opportunity that we have. And so when you have the difficulties, then we shouldn't identify those difficulties as being difficulties. We should identify our difficulties instead as being opportunities. In the past, there have been many great beings, great people who've appeared, and they have all come out of the difficulties that they've had. Because of these great difficulties, they've had an opportunity and become people who are unlike anyone else. They've been able to take the difficulties and use them as a source of learning, a source of education, a source of advice, really taking them to heart. Then they are able to become great beings. You aren't born a great person. It's because of the great difficulties and suffering that you face that you then are able to become a great person. You don't become a great person by just enjoying and having a good time. And so whether or not someone becomes a great being depends upon how they deal with the difficulties that arise. Ordinary people encounter the difficulties and then they're weighted down by the burden of the great difficulties so much that they're unable to get up. The great people do not accept the suffering as being suffering. Instead, they see it as an opportunity. They learn from the difficulties and learn from the mistakes. And then the difficulties become their friends and they are able to improve themselves in this way.
진짜 강해서야지. 딱 가수에 강해서야지 드라마 잡지 강해서야지 troll 걔도 중요합니다. 그것도 소소 약에 쉽지 조기였어요. 약에 침부 조기였어요. 배나 강해면나 준주지 장고사나 강해면은 준주자스 내라오잖아. 준주시하고 하스게 민도 봐지. 아니다 서바지 공고삼나 강해면은 서바 공하스게야마나. 베지 미지기 칼라신 버때되나? 아델지 서바 공하스게 민도 칼라신 버때 또 신버때 야 보스에선다 될 미세 서바 공면서 칼라마세 되되나 또 경으로 봐. 아 된다지레샤. 드레이 뉴스안에 강해면이나 버지 다 되지레 수수 뉴번된 사람 젠된 사람에게 매외소지. 베는 미질리아, 베는 베징, 주도, 너보당 카라테 다원 다데 약고 쉬지여체. 제 쉬지여체. 이나 다콜 캅데디 주도다 카라테 가야 마신게 미탭자지. 미껴보지. 캅데 총변 다 데라고 제 몸사시라면도 그 강가 신경 말어. 다디 소소 캅데 배 소소능신 소소를 화자도 되지 개바지 토 가서 되지 토보 이나드는 소소기 가라 제 몸산으로지다 뉴버 몸산으로지 뉴버 뚠산으로지 용거로 봐 다디 된으로지 강해서야디 소소기 뉴버 뚠 고급지당 소소기 간다르지 다 스지디 바 뚠야가 고급들지 같이 인사 삼정이에요. 소소에 다 가더라 가셔야 돼. 소소 가르임 바 뚠야 뒤지는지. 소소 가르임 바데 바지 강에 shum을 거로 바지 뚠용으로 봐.
So we should not consider difficulties to be our enemy, but we should consider them to be our friends. And if we do that, then we can really use them to improve ourselves. For example, if we don't have any difficulties, then there's no need to be diligent. Diligence, if everything's, fine and happy, then there's no need to be diligent about anything. So there's no diligence if you don't have any difficulties. If you want to meditate upon patience, then there's no need, if everything's fine and there's nothing to be patient about, there's no difficulties, then there's nothing to be patient with. It's like if someone is giving you a delicious meal. If you have the delicious meal, you just eat it. There's nothing else to do. You can't be patient about it in any way. If you don't eat it, then it's your own loss. So there's no need to be patient about it. So when things are if things are always good, if you don't have any difficulties, then there's no opportunity. It's when there are difficulties, then that's when you're able to really show your power, bring out your power, and bring out the strengths that you have. Like someone who is really skilled, an expert judo karate master, someone like that. That someone may be really skilled and expert in judo and karate, and if they have an opponent in their sparring match who's just a regular person, no training at all, knows nothing about judo or karate, then the expert is going to have absolutely no chance to improve their skills or to really bring out their powers and energies. It's only when that judo or karate master meets someone who's their equal or who's better than them, then at that point they have the opportunity to really bring out their powers, bring out their skills, and think of new ways to use them. And so in that way, we should look at the difficulties as being an opportunity for us to really enhance our power, enhance our strengths, and enhance our powers. And they're really an opportunity for us to enhance our own dignity and magnificence. And so it is important for us to do that. And so really, these difficulties are an opportunity for us to bring out what we truly are.
강에 지수치 땅 아게르디 차디와 땅 아게디 지수수에 다데 갑리야 가르조 가르이 바티기 틱바 가르조에다지 심버스네미도 다 틱은 틱디게 소소직도 바 코바장데야르다디 지요 마네요 가르이 바티 수술레 넘버 게고 아래 수술레 넘버 게 모도나 아니 야게사디요 아요 마레 넘버 게야데 맞으는 그 벽에 돌아 나게로 와. 다등은은 나래 넘버 게고 다도나도도 나게 텔레 넘버 게네. 네 소소 가르로야지. 나르 소소다 리디에 섬섬 텔레 하버지 안 간다지 충분히미나. 아니 신의 야겐로 도야스. 근데 마이미체 안 다다지 이 삼사르디 코바잔데 다라 모두 라데나 아니 유아시라랑 로토메 다면도 섬청도.
The biggest obstacle for us to make these changes is pride. If we sort of think to ourselves, we're happy with what we are, we're satisfied with the way we are, we think that we're okay as we are. If we think in that way, then actually that is not all right. Actually, we need to be victorious. We need to win. We need to transcend and triumph over that. So we need to triumph over that sense. Usually when we talk about pride in Tibetan, the word in Tibetan means I'm winning or I'm triumphing. And so here we need to triumph over that pride. So we may have thought, I was okay before, but we need to do something that is better. We need to improve and get better than that. If we do not, if we think I'm okay and we just sort of stay there with being self-satisfied, then there's really no opportunity for us to change.
다바지 디네르지마다 신나게 샤스케면도 아니 안다리데 양가 디 카르레지 네 연도부터 가보샤죠. 다나신 아주 대야 랍드지요아레 메드리에 랍드지요아레 다나신 고난주 맹한체 제는 산에 사돌이야지 펜도에 대봐. 다디 아부샤 총샤스. 아니 오마네 딜리아 제수랑 오마네 슈데 엔데린디 고급디 규제 상월로 두시셔야 될 서포트링 상월로 두시셔야다. 다나신기 개겐당 로주당 레제베 용리야 두치에 쉬야인 단 디사자의 개심 차디요래 아주 박배유스거래 망가다 박배유 지 내외베 민상으로 아주 파배 가사를 질이야 문진을 제대요 엄마 나라 춘춘거 다란 텐데다 야그 바지 강갈로 저 파배 가사를 지경아 예설에서 텐데요 제상 디균 디 파베기우 간데바 아니 사선디 이미네다 랜드 source of wisdom's land of wisdom's 가서 다 가르라고나 다 간다야 상계에서 차대요 아래 제자 지 시력은 중내를 차대요 아래 제자 강준디 롱베미 디상로 다진 점린 신문이 미망고 연구에 인도사네 그 고소리야 미비 상모되는 거야 그렇지 고소리야지 리드 sommarabataji nguti che tuyaru sangbyogi neti tuyaru ndeji ya jigi karjuedaji 외법 세난다도 긴구르 세난다도 니주 예버레섬 드르전이 두산 야상으로야 두시는 샤이.
So I haven't much else to say right now, but I am very happy to have come here again. It's really wonderful. There is the school here, the Maitreya school. There is the medical clinic that is, both of these are really beneficial for the local area. And so, in particular, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved with these. I'd like to thank all of the workers as well as all of the supporters and everyone involved with these projects. This place we're in is a very important place. This is the land of Magadha, is what we call in Tibetan the Arya Bhumi, the noble land, or the Arya Bhumi. So when I was young, I thought that all of the people who lived here must be Arya individuals, noble individuals. And so this is the land of the noble Arya individuals. So in any case, this land here is the source of wisdom. It is the place where all of the Buddhas awaken to enlightenment. And so for that reason, it is the source of all wisdom. And for all of you, people of this area, there are many people from all over the world who come to this place, and so it is your opportunity or your responsibility to give them a good example and to help lead them to a good destination. And so I would like to thank you all very much for this.
로니 동아 예공이야 점상게 좀 된데 내들이야 상게네 고랑 그다지 이시니네 아는 로얄 람된 체도버들 중벌에 마음벌에는 디 사소들이야 따지 된데베게 가르소이 자와다 캐럽 예베 기부다 뭐 망부 중네 에너지 로와 탐제리야 람된 체도베 가사 망부 중투베 저 체디에 다데레 나나신 들이 안데 요모들이 그냥 내내를 간지 차는데 가르쳐야지 14라고 시작 아무나샤 근데도 고야스 게임도 아주 팀 망불에 사례들이 인주스들이 망불 14대 고야스 게임도 대인비냐 다디 투시샤인 아니 망불에야 고급 준비는 양가 연도로 예 양가 투시나 샤인
2,500 years ago, the Buddha awoke to enlightenment in this place. And so this is the place where the origin of the wisdom. This is a place that many people were, and because of that, he achieved the great wisdom and was able to guide many beings to happiness. Likewise, in the future, there will be many great beings who will come and who will, with their great compassion and wisdom, be able to guide sentient beings. And so it is my hope that there will be many people, many beings who come like that in the future. Now, you all have made such lovely preparations for me, such elaborate preparations for me. Actually, I've been here many times now, and there's no need to do something so elaborate, but I do want to thank you for that again. And I hope that in the future I will have the opportunity to come back again. Thank you very much.